Good afternoon, traders and investors. Will back here with another one, coming to you with a Monday market recap. Hope everybody had a very beautiful day and a very beautiful weekend as well. And in today's markets, guys, we had some very nice green continuation in SPY and the QQQ, really continuously pushing towards new all-time highs. However, we did have relatively low volume here, guys, today, and I do expect that to maintain into tomorrow as well. And the simple reason is, guys, a lot of traders are going to be sidelined until we get the very big day of Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be an extremely huge day and potentially a volatile one as well, simply because we get two of the largest market moving events in any given month in one single day. Number one, we have the CPI coming out early on in the morning, and then in the afternoon, we have Jerome Powell coming out with an interest rate decision meeting and a question and answer session with analysts thereafter. Now, he's not supposed to change any interest rates this month. However, we will get his commentary about the direction of the economy, the jobs market, and the direction of inflation, and his stance and the Federal Reserve stance on the direction of all three elements of the economy, right? So that is pretty much what we have in the pipeline for this week. In terms of today's trading, well, there wasn't much in terms of macro news. However, one thing that we did get today is a very interesting presentation from Apple on the first day of their Worldwide Developer Conference. They released a ton of little AI features here, guys, which we're going to recap together. We're going to do that in the Apple section of the video when we do a technical analysis rundown on our big tech names in the Apple specific session. So we'll do the technicals and a quick rundown of the new Apple AI features in that section of the video. So if you want to skip to that one, just look at the timestamps down below in the description, guys, and head to whichever portion of the video that you prefer to watch. So with all that out of the way, guys, the plan for today's video very simply is going to be a technical analysis rundown of our major market indexes. Then we're going to do our big tech names, and lastly, take a quick glimpse into my portfolio for the trades that I opened for the week. So without further ado, guys, let's get right into today's video. SPY up about 0.31%, QQQ up about 0.4%, and overall, guys, the market was fairly healthy today, right? Most of your big tech names were up, except for really Apple, Oracle, and Adobe. Apple coming into a little bit of sell the news event after their conference presentation. But however, the rest of the market, guys, relatively healthy, right? Healthcare having a very nice day. Financials down a little bit, but the bottom half of the market, guys, did look very, very, very healthy. Industrials, energy, real estate, consumer cyclicals as well. Pretty much everything going very, very nicely up to the upside. Just a very healthy day of broad market rotation, in my opinion here, guys. If you take a look at the one-day relative performance, you can see that even better. Most of your industry sectors were in the green today. The only two negative ones, guys, were really consumer defensives and financials, right? But all in all, a very healthy day in the broad markets as a whole. So now let's jump into our technical analysis portion, guys. And it's very, very simple, guys. Pretty much our trends are maintained. So daily uptrend on the SPY right now, still hunting for our daily higher low for potential trend continuation, right? Looking like it wants to break the all-time highs, but in my opinion, we really won't be able to run too much before Wednesday's catalyst, right? Wednesday can really send us either or direction, guys. If both elements are very positive, if CPI comes in lower than expected, and Jerome Powell is very dovish with us, telling us that he's very pleased with the status of the economy, the jobs market, and the direction of inflation, well, then you may just get your pop and break above your all-time highs. However, if it is a negative news event, guys, well, at least the bulls do have tons of space, right? Our daily higher low is right here at about 525. So a little bit of space here between us and the daily higher low, talking about maybe 2% to the downside. And in the event, guys, that this does start off a larger period of consolidation for our markets, well, the weekly is still looking quite healthy as well here, guys. Take a look at this, right? Gorgeous weekly uptrend right now. Weekly higher low is set at about 519.15. So the bulls do have a large area of pullback before potentially being in jeopardy of losing the weekly uptrends, right? Between us and the lows, pretty much, we have a good space, about 3.1%. So as of now, guys, no real red flags, but definitely the market moving event will be our Wednesday session, which is why it's very, very tough to predict short-term price action before that event actually happens. But as I said, it's very good, guys, that we're putting in a lot of space between us and these lows before the big event on Wednesday. Moving on to QQQ now. QQQ largely the same, right? Kind of on the verge of our all-time highs right now. And QQQ is largely the same as well, right? So in the context of this very, very nice daily uptrend right now, and all we're going to be looking for as of currently is pretty much a retest for potentially looking for a daily higher low, maybe around the 12 EMA and our previous all-time high zone of resistance, which could now be acting as support, right? So beautiful daily uptrend by the QQQs, looking to set that daily higher low and continue its uptrend. Now, obviously, if Wednesday is a negative day, we could see a heavy amount of pullback, but it's a good thing here, guys, between us and our daily higher lows, which are set at about 451, we do have a decent amount of space. We're talking about 2.72% in terms of the amount of space. If the event on Wednesday kicks off a larger daily downtrend in the markets, well, we do have a very healthy amount of space above our weekly higher lows on the QQQs, right? Talking about roughly between us and those weekly higher lows, 4.5%, guys. So a very decent amount of cushion, and coming in a previous all-time high, that previous resistance will now be support. And we also have our 12 EMA right down here as well. So it should be fairly tough for the bears to really break through that. Really, the only chance that we maybe have of breaking these lows on the weekly is if we get an absolutely disastrous CPI report, which no one is truly forecasting for. And if Jerome Powell really gives a more nervous tone when he's talking about the economy and the jobs market, right? Those two things would definitely not be good and would lead to pretty much a little bit of market uncertainty, which could take a few weeks to correct. But so far, so good. No real red flags in the markets. The bulls still in control of every single time frame. Moving on to XLF financials right now, really just consolidating sideways here, guys. No clear direction on financials. So one of the two things is going to happen this week with such a volatile week event, right? With the FOMC and CPI, we're either going to get a break of one of two levels. If we get a break of $41 to the downside, it is daily downtrend underway, and then we will look to the weekly higher lows to act as our line in the sand levels, talking about 40.57. Cannot lose that, or you set a weekly downtrend in motion and you just extend monthly consolidation a little bit longer. But if we do break this level to the upside, talking about 41.69, well, daily uptrend at that point will be resumed and we will be well on our way to a next weekly leg of higher price action here. The bulls doing a great job on the weekly, guys, of defending this 12 EMA. Have to give it to them. They really haven't lost it since that November rally. So looking to maintain that defense once again. Tight range of accumulation, but in my opinion, guys, this is going to break one way or the other, and it's going to be highly, highly data dependent. So a little bit difficult to predict which way it's going to, which way pretty much it's going to break, considering the fact that we really don't have much certainty as to these major market events on Wednesday. Moving into healthcare right now, healthcare. What a tremendous rally from healthcare, guys. 100% engulfing move. The bulls are still, eventually, when this move tops out, because it's still not topped out, we've never lost the hourly trend except for a little bit here in the early morning with the pre-market hours, was able to recapture that right away. But if I were to take off the pre-market hours, guys, they really never lost this in regular hours of trading. The 4 hour as well is extremely bullish right now. So whenever this move tops out here, guys, we're going to be looking for the bulls to set a daily higher low. Look at the amount of space. Anything above 140.6, just gonna be looking for that daily higher low for the potential trend continuation. If it tops out close to here, we could potentially be retesting this location down here, guys, on healthcare, 144.85. Prior zone of support, current zone of support as well, and your moving averages are going to be acting in confluence with this little zone right here. So could be looking at maybe something like this, retest, daily higher low, and daily trend run. And on terms of the weekly, guys, we are now in a beautiful confirmed weekly uptrend after being in a weekly downtrend pretty much since the early portion of the month of February into late April. We have now done a great job of fully recovering and now broken the highs, giving you a new weekly uptrend. So the bulls are in full control every single time frame in healthcare. There's still one healthcare stock that was low that I was telling a lot of people I was interested in this location right here. Didn't play it too much in the channel here, guys, but if anybody had the opportunity to play AbbVie in these lower levels, it was really a no-brainer play in my opinion. Still a few little healthcare deals out there in the market to be had, but a lot of them are a bit expensive, right? Like even UNH, you won't really see me playing short puts on UNH that much. However, UNH is in a very nice area, guys, of support right now, right? Really tapping into the 485 all the way down to about 450 level. Really, really solid location for UNH ever since the past 2.5 years of trading at this point, right? So looking really, really good just for a little potential trade idea here, targeting the lower end of the range and really going for the top end of the range for the all-time highs. Could take a little bit of a while to play out, but UNH is an extremely solid company. So healthcare looking extremely good, guys. No red flags as of yet. Now, moving on to semiconductors. Semiconductors just continuing their monstrous rally upward. Gorgeous daily uptrend simply continues at this point, right? Daily higher low is set with the lows of last Friday and Thursday's trading. And now the bulls are really looking with these lows right here, looking to push above and continue this daily uptrend north. Now, a big market moving event for semiconductors this week is going to be AVGO Broadcom's earnings, right? Just a quick reminder, they are pretty much one of the largest components behind NVIDIA of the entire semiconductor index. So that will be a market moving event for semiconductors. Their expected move, guys, in relation to today's price is about 6% up or down. So that will definitely move the index one way or another if it hits the entire expected move. Obviously, if it only moves 1, 2, 3%, it's not going to do that much. But if it does move 6% and above, that will heavily impact the price action of this index right here. All in all, right now, no red flags. Daily higher low is set. Moving on to daily uptrend. If ever we were to lose this after AVGO's earnings and send us into a daily downtrend, you guys know the drill. So much space on the weekly, guys. Anything above 198.71, just going to be looking for a weekly higher low for the potential weekly trend continuation. A little bit of an area of confluence could be 238 down to about 230. This little pocket right here, which is your prior all-time highs, coming into the 12 EMA, coming into the larger area of prior all-time high resistance, which should now be support. So this whole 235, 230 area, guys, really juicy location for the retest and maybe potentially run. Moving on to IWM right now. The Russell not looking too bad at all, up about 0.34%, right? And the Russell is really beholden to movements in the interest rate. So you can see, right, interest rates have been coming severely up in the last 2 days. And that's why the Russell really hasn't been able to move in the last 2 days. Despite having a very healthy recovery this morning, it didn't start off like that, right? The Russell really started kind of down in the mud and was able to really recover throughout the day. But that was not the case. As you can see, guys, for the remainder of the time, it was still any consecutive daily downtrend. That is maintained right now. So what the bulls are looking for right now in the context of this daily downtrend, we are looking to set the weekly higher lows, anything above 191.62, looking for the weekly higher lows for the eventual trend change back to the bulls before we can maybe attack a higher level right here at around 212. Huge resistance right here, right? Prior support, going to be very big resistance for the bulls. But where are we getting our momentum in, guys? We're getting the momentum down here in this location, right? 2 years almost of consolidation, prior resistance, support, resistance, congestion. So this area right here is a very highly traded area. That's why I'm expecting the bulls to play a lot of defense in this zone right here and maybe go for that leg higher eventually when we kind of get out of this daily downtrend. Eventually, what we'll need to see, though, however, from the bulls is now that we got a nice engulfing hourly move, need to see the hourly trend change. When we get the hourly trend change, you guys know the drill, looking for the bulls to engulf the most as possible of this down leg right here into an engulfing move and looking to reset into a daily uptrend. Only then, only when we have the daily uptrend can we say that the weekly higher lows are officially set and that we're making a move for a potential higher high. So those are the things I'll be looking out on IWM Russell for the eventual trend change. Now, lastly, the Dow Jones. Dow Jones not doing too bad here today, up about 0.18%, but the Dow Jones not looking too strong, right? The size of this bounce is just not the best here, guys, right? Take a look at the size of this bounce in relation to your downswing, only about 50%. Now, that's a decent bounce, but it definitely isn't a 618 or a 782 bounce, is it, right? So what the bulls are looking to do right now with that 50% bounce, they are looking to set up for a daily higher low to get the daily trend change back to really start undoing some of this weekly damage as well. And so far, the bulls are looking like they do want to play defense in this area, right? Lost all the short-term moving averages on the hourly in the past week. Now it is the chance to get them back. If we can get that back and break these highs right here, could have a new daily trend formation underway. Getting above these moving averages is going to be critical for the bulls as well. And they're going to try and maintain this weekly uptrend higher, right? So not looking too bad on the Dow Jones here, guys, but the bulls still with a lot of work to do in front of them. The fallback location, in my opinion, guys, the bulls cannot give back more than 38,344. Really cannot dive below these locations because then we come too close to the lows and it really puts into jeopardy a potential weekly downtrend all the way down into our lower levels right here, 37,700. So all in all, the Dow Jones not looking too bad, but not also looking strong nevertheless. Now, moving into our big tech names, guys, let's take a look at Apple right here. So Apple having their investor developer conference today, and what started off as a fairly decent morning for Apple, right? Not moving too much in the pre-market, really got crushed the remainder of the day, especially into the later part of the afternoon, right? So Apple, unfortunately, kind of giving away some of their daily uptrend right here, loss of the higher lows right there, and now loss of the daily uptrend. So what exactly happened? Why did people react so negatively to Apple's developer conference? Well, it may just be a question, guys, of baked in expectations, right? Take a look, guys. We've had a substantial rally in Apple for pretty much the last 8 weeks running. And there was a lot of people trying to front run this event because this event was going to showcase to us all, is Apple falling behind the AI curve, or are they on point with the AI curve? And can we potentially view this new product cycle as a massive upgrade cycle for Apple? Obviously, Apple's revenue has been brought into question over the last 5 quarters because their iPhone sales have been relatively flat. So everybody's looking for the next big thing for Apple. What is going to be the one thing that's going to really push everybody who's using an iPhone 11, 12, 13, 14, what's going to push them to buy the new version of the iPhone coming out in September, right? And it was supposed to be this AI event. So let's take a look, guys, on what exactly Apple did today. So Apple introduces AI to its products at WWDC. Now, we're obviously not going to go everything here, guys. It was about a 2-hour conference. We're just going to go over a few of the highlights. And there were a very decent amount of highlights to be had. So, number one, what we were all expecting, Siri finally gets smarter. With Apple Intelligence, yes, so Apple's AI is now referred to as Apple Intelligence, right? Still AI for the acronym. Siri will be able to answer questions using information from across multiple apps. So no longer is Siri going to kind of be this robotic entity that doesn't really understand in-depth questions, right? And only understands simple prompts. Now Siri will be able to use the personalized information that you have on your device to answer more specific questions that are tailored to you. So a lot of the upgrades here on Siri are very, very, very good, and people have been waiting for these for a very long time. If you haven't seen a demonstration of these, you can always pull it up on a YouTube video here, guys. My channel, unfortunately, isn't a tech review channel, so if you want to take a look at the new upgrades, let's just go there. We're going to see what it can possibly do for shareholders, right? Now, the biggest element of this entire conference, in my opinion, so far, because there's still 3 days to go, but so far is this line right here, OpenAI partnership, right? So they now have a full partnership with OpenAI. You may remember about a month and a half ago, there was rumors circulating. Apple was kind of shopping around for AI partners. Was it going to be Microsoft with their OpenAI technology, OpenAI integration? Was it going to be Google? Who is it going to be? Well, now it's official. OpenAI partnership. In situations where OpenAI's technology is better suited to answer a user's question, Apple will let them opt in to searching ChatGPT instead. The integration will work directly from their Apple device, even if a user doesn't have a ChatGPT account. Guys, this is huge, okay? For everybody in the investing world and everybody in the technology world, this may not seem like a very big thing because a lot of us are using ChatGPT now. But you know who's not using ChatGPT, guys? Probably 95, 96% of all Apple device users. And keep in mind, guys, there's almost 2 billion Apple devices in circulation. So not a lot of people have been using ChatGPT, but trust me, when it's on their new Apple devices, a lot of people will probably start using it to answer general questions, right? So what Apple has done is fantastic. It is using 2 versions of AI. Number one, the upgraded Siri, which will be able to answer specific questions to you, depending on your personalized apps that you have on your phone, depending on your notes, your calendar, your emails, everything like that, right? But for a more generalized question, let's say you just want information about a specific topic, you'll be able to ask ChatGPT, and then Siri can then read you the answer if ever you don't want to read it, right? Directly onto your speaker or into your AirPods. Huge, guys, in my opinion, right? And we also have real-time call transcripts. iPhone users will now be able to record and create transcripts of calls right from the phone app. All parties to the call will be notified when it's being recorded. So that is also a very decent feature as well. If ever you want to record a business conversation or something like that without having to take down notes directly, at least you can record the call and have an in-call transcript. Now, in terms of their AI applications, right? Here's just a few of the things that you'll be able to ask Siri to do, right? in terms of just asking generalized or personalized questions in terms of you and asking Siri to do different things for you, right? Send different pictures, send pictures of the barbecue to this person, right? Show me the price of Apple stock, create this, add new page to this document, right? So Siri is really going to become more of a virtual assistant than it really already is. Now, here's what Tim Cook had to say about this. Cook once again emphasized that Apple is taking privacy and security very seriously with the rollout of the new technology. We think AI's role is not to replace users, but to empower them. When you think about what's possible, it has to be integrated with the experience and be intuitive and informed by your personal context and knowledge of you. If you're going to do that, there's a lot of responsibility. So Tim Cook kind of jumping ahead there just because he knows that there's going to be a lot of potential pushback on privacy regulations, especially from regulators. You guys know that Apple has had a lot of lawsuits in the past year over its privacy and over its app store, right? So Tim Cook kind of jumping ahead of the gun there. Very, very nice. Now, we did highlight a few more things here, guys. Apple said that while Apple Intelligence, so basically Siri, will understand a great deal about your personal life, other AI models, such as ChatGPT, may be better suited to responding prompts related to more general information. That's what we've been saying so far, guys. And just a little quick tidbit here. The only iPhones which will be capable of this new update, this new AI update, will be the iPhone 15 Pro and future. So no iPhones in the past will be running that. And that's just a question of processors, guys. It's just because the iPhone 15 Pro is the only phone that's capable of inference, basically taking what you tell it, running it through a large language model, and spitting you back an answer, right? It's the only processor that's sophisticated enough to do that. Now, there's a few other upgrades here, guys, right? Few little minor upgrades, emojis, few little rollouts for, layouts on the MacBook, few little extra differences in applications for the iPad as well. But I really brought you guys the biggest ones, right? Because these are the ones that are going to get people into that upgrade cycle. You know how Apple products work, right? A lot of people don't even watch these developer conferences. They don't even know what features and functionalities the new iPhone's going to bring. What is going to probably happen though, guys, is similar to how people go about Apple products, right? Is usually when you see other people using these devices around you, right? That's how a lot of personally, between myself and my friend circle, that's how I also learn about new technology, right? And when you see somebody using potentially ChatGPT on their iPhone or integrated Siri with AI applications and whatnot, well, that is what's going to get users to spread word of mouth and get Apple to really sell these phones and people obviously to make TikTok videos about them and everything. So really not going to be a predictive event for Apple in terms of, I don't expect there to be lineups out of the stores waiting for these phones, similar to what we had maybe 5-10 years ago, right? But what I do expect is when when Apple does release these products later on in the year, I do expect there to be a lot of people reviewing these products and a lot of people as well that are going to post TikTok and Instagram reels about all the different functionalities. And you know how the younger generation is, guys. When they see all of these features, they're going to want them, right? And that is going to be the catalyst for the upgrade cycle, in my opinion. So it's going to be a bit of a slower upgrade cycle, but I do believe it will catch on very, very well. So all in all, guys, I'm fairly pleased with the event so far. Obviously, nothing truly groundbreaking, right? Your phone won't transform into a briefcase or something like that, but still very, very good nonetheless. Nice to see that Apple partnered with OpenAI. Now, moving on to the share price action, right? So obviously down about 1.91% and losing the daily uptrend in the process. So had a very nice daily uptrend going here. Daily higher lows were set. We were looking for the trend continuation. And unfortunately, we got engulfed to the downside. So triple high right here into a lower low. Well, that is unfortunately a daily downtrend coming it down into our 12 EMA right here. So daily downtrend on the stock, any move higher, probably looking for a higher, lower high and maybe into lower low. That's just because Apple is rejecting right now from the all-time high resistance. And I don't believe that today's news was groundbreaking enough to really send us in a skyrocketing beyond the all-time high. So what could be the case for Apple is if we do get a little bit of a daily downtrend rejection here coming out of this zone of resistance, right? May just see a little bit of a daily downtrend, and that could be a catalyst for a little bit of weekly consolidation. After 7-8 weeks of rally, guys, Apple can have a very healthy pullback opportunity, maybe for about a week or two. And if we can come down and retest the mid 180s, that's where I'm going to be looking for a little bit of a swing trade into these moving averages, for the weekly higher low and maybe a second attempt at our all-time highs. So that's just a little bit of technical analysis on Apple. Now moving into AMD, AMD getting hit today, unfortunately, with an analyst downgrade, right? Down about 4.49% on the day, but at one point in time on the day, guys, they were down a lot more. They were down about 4.8, almost 5%. So AMD really not having the best time today. Still stuck in our range of consolidation here, guys, right? So the down part, 158.40. If you were to lose that, daily downtrend continues. And at that point, we will still be looking for a weekly higher low on AMD. I'll remind you pretty much anything above 149.22, just a weekly higher low for the eventual weekly trend change. AMD is really being left behind in the whole semiconductor rally over the past month and a half, but I don't think that is going to last forever here, guys. We need to remember AMD is really number 2 after NVIDIA. I understand that NVIDIA has a substantial lead, but AMD is just not benefiting right now from that number 2 status, but I don't think that's going to last forever. I do believe that AMD will have the run, just maybe not ready yet. In terms of upside potential, right? Well, we need to get a break of 169.47, break that, we have our new daily uptrend, and then we'll be looking to smash a few levels, overhead resistance at 174, and then all the way into maybe the 180 area. But so far, so good. You guys know me. As long as we remain in this lower area right here, I will continue to write short puts on AMD in the 157 all the way down to 150 area. I really think it's a great location here, guys, for the monthly higher lows, for that eventual monthly trend continuation, right? So taking a little bit more time than I expected, but still not very terrible price action from AMD. Just a little bit slow over the past month, right? Now moving on to Amazon. Give me a quick second. So Amazon really just powering through the day and really into the close, closing hard right here. Looking extremely gorgeous right now is Amazon, right? So one daily leg higher right now, daily downtrend into daily engulfing move. So as soon as this move is topped out, going to be looking for a higher low, anything above 174, just looking for that daily higher low for further trend continuation. Now, let's say Wednesday's event is negative for the markets, guys, and it brings Amazon down as well. I will be looking to make a swing trade on this, guys. If we come down back into maybe right below these moving averages right here, let's call it maybe 181, 180 after Wednesday's trade, I'll probably be looking to write some short puts down below here because I am expecting Amazon to potentially recover this trend into next week if ever we drop on the Wednesday session. Just because Amazon is in control of all the longer time frames, right? Beautiful monthly uptrend right now. Beautiful weekly consolidation into a weekly uptrend potential as well. And we're really starting to get some legs over and above our prior all-time high area of resistance, which is now the area of support right below us, which is why I say if we do get a little bit of a dip opportunity in Amazon, I will continue to swing trade these locations, talking about 180 down to 177.50. I think it's a great location for a little bit of a swing trade, even if you're not writing short puts, if you're writing maybe if you're only buying shares, let's say for a swing trade, or maybe even call options, right? Not financial advice, of course, but very decent swing trade opportunity. The way that I would play this is if I enter right here, 180, 179, let's call it, well, your stop loss goes below the lows here, and then we're targeting pretty much your all-time highs. So decent little reward to risk trade, in my opinion. Moving on to Google right now. Google not having a bad day, 0.39%, right? So Google daily downtrend, trying to reverse this, right? Nice engulfing move, respecting the 12 EMA right here as defense, and now looking to set the daily higher low and give me that daily trend change continuation to the bulls. All in all, not looking too bad here, guys. The weekly is also not looking too bad, but Google kind of struggling here over the last couple of weeks to really break over and above these all-time highs. We'll see if they can get it done this week. However, if Wednesday's data day is a bad day for Google, well then, guys, we may be retesting our lows down here, talking about 171, right? If we were to lose 171, well, unfortunately, your daily downtrend simply continues, and your weekly consolidation at that point will simply continue as well. Wouldn't like to see them cut the 171.55. That would be a weekly downtrend and would just be a little bit of monthly consolidation for Google. All in all, very, very healthy, guys, but just a little bit too high for me. If you ask me, in my opinion, I'm going to play Google a lot more heavily if we come down into maybe the 165, 160 level, a little bit easier management in terms of trade levels for me. Now, moving on to Meta. So Meta doing a very good job today of continuously pushing above the most recent area of congestion that we were stuck into, right? Pretty much the 482, now well above the $500 level. Now, unfortunately for us, Meta didn't quite come and pick us up. As you were recalling, guys, last week I was really promoting the heck out of this trade idea, maybe a retest of your 482 for a little bit of a swing trade higher. Unfortunately, that did not happen, guys. This is still one daily move higher at this point, right? So looking very, very good. As soon as this move is topped out, just gonna be looking for a daily higher low for the eventual daily trend change, or not daily trend change, but just daily trend continuation for the bulls. The area of support below us still remains this location right here, 482. All of the moving averages are there, and it's our previous location of support, right? So looking very, very good if the bulls do retest this area. Resistance above us right now, 508, and then obviously our 531 all-time highs. But Meta did a great job of recovering pretty much since their earnings right here, guys. Pretty much a very, very nice recovery, 4 or 5 weeks in the making right now. And now officially weekly uptrend has commenced once again, well above our weekly 12 EMA and well above this weekly area of congestion too. So no red flags at all, guys. I'm still looking for a little bit of a pullback. Maybe Wednesday's event gives us that pullback into this location right here for a potential swing trade higher. Now moving into Microsoft. Microsoft not looking too bad either, up about 1% on the day, and Microsoft just continues gaining the levels, right? So came down hard in this level, daily downtrend was started, and now we are pretty much in a almost fully engulfing move. Take a look at the fib here, guys. We have pretty much an over 80% retracement, which all but guarantees the bulls capacity that when this move tops out here, guys, going to be looking for a daily higher low for the daily trend continuation. Usually when we get such big engulfing moves, guys, well, you usually do get the trend change. That being said, I will be looking, let's say Wednesday's event is a negative day for the markets. Well, I will be looking for the pullback zone into the maybe 50 EMA, talking about the 416 level. Could be an interesting trade location, daily higher low, take the swing trade here, stops go below the lows, and then we're really targeting the all-time highs and 450 psychological level of resistance as our take profit. So all in all, Microsoft not looking too bad at all, looking very healthy as a matter of fact, just continuously pushing above our prior range of consolidation. When we zoom out on the weekly here, guys, you can see how strong this name is, right? Very rarely has it lost the 12 EMA pretty much in the last a year, almost call it about 14 months worth of trading, right? Extremely strong name, weekly uptrend on the verge of being recaptured by the bulls as well. So looking very, very, very healthy on Microsoft. Nothing bad to say about the company at all. Now moving on to Netflix. Netflix hesitating right now about 0.47% to the upside, hesitating because it's been in the same location for pretty much 3 weeks in a row right now. Very tight range of consolidation, right? So same thing as AMD pretty much. If we break to the downside, 626, let's call it, daily downtrend is underway, and then we'll just be looking for further weekly consolidation above or within our prior 52-week range of resistance. Could be a great location for the bulls to really fall back into, build a little bit more momentum, and then give us our beautiful weekly uptrend continuation. I would be targeting the 12 EMA on the weekly, maybe 616 at the lowest point for any further consolidation. And obviously, guys, if Netflix just blasts through the tops right here, blasting through 659, let's call it, daily uptrend resumed, and then you will have your weekly higher lows being set. This looks like a bull flag, guys. Bull flag all day for Netflix, right? Really above our resistance, not giving back too much at all, looking like they do want a bull flag and then move higher. And if they do start moving higher, guys, you guys know next area of resistance is your all-time highs, 695, 700. Moving into NVIDIA right now. NVIDIA had obviously their split event. I'm not too sure why they have this candle on the chart right now. Probably a data issue, but all in all, NVIDIA is official 10-to-1 stock split. That's why the stock price is right now $122. Just a quick reminder, guys, this didn't change their market cap at all, still around $3 trillion. It's really just a question of if you had 1 share before, you have 10 shares now. It is the exact same value. I always give this example, guys. Is it as if you had a $100 bill or 10 bills of $10? It's still the same $100, guys. Nothing changes. But what it does change for a lot of people is a lot of brokers don't have fractionalized shares. So Interactive Brokers, my broker, you can actually buy $5 of NVIDIA if you want, because you can buy fractional shares. 0.01 shares of NVIDIA, something like that. But a lot of brokers still don't support that. And also what it does, guys, is it opens up the options chains, right? Very, very difficult to play NVIDIA options when it's in the $1,200 range. Not everybody has access to them because the options are very, very expensive, right? Now, with the stock price around $121, doing options plays is going to be a lot more simple, and you're going to see a lot more options plays on NVIDIA from me as a byproduct of this lower share price. So very, very excited for this for this new NVIDIA share price right now. In terms of our technicals here, guys, well, the technicals really don't change. NVIDIA is in a gorgeous daily uptrend right now, trying to hunt for the daily higher low, anything above 107.26, looking for that daily higher low for the potential trend continuation, using our prior range of resistance. This little area of resistance right now should be support for the bulls, and the 12 EMA is right there. So we're still in slight downtrending. I mean, not really downtrending, but just sideways consolidation for NVIDIA right now, right? No red flags whatsoever, still in a gorgeous daily uptrend. However, if that changes over the course of the week here, guys, right? If we get a little bit of a daily downtrend on NVIDIA, is that big of a deal? No, because why? Well, look at this gorgeous weekly uptrend, guys. Just going to be looking for a potential weekly higher low for the eventual weekly trend change. And I do maintain, guys, I don't think we're going to get back to our prior all-time highs all the way down here at, well, what used to be $960, which is now about $96. I do believe that maybe the most we come down to, guys, is maybe 108, 105 region. If we come down here gently within the next couple of weeks, the 12 EMA on the weekly is going to have time to catch up, and that should be a very nice area of confluence. It's been the one that I've been targeting now for a couple of weeks running. Now moving into Tesla. Tesla obviously not having the best day at all, 2% to the downside. Tesla just unable to break through this range of consolidation, guys. Tesla has a very big event this week, right? It is pretty much the decision on Elon Musk's compensation package, $56 billion. The vote is on Thursday. A lot of anticipation into this vote here, guys. If you want my opinion on the Tesla vote, it's going to be very simple, right? If the vote is approved, then nothing changes pretty much. You may have a little bit of pushback from certain Tesla activists, but all in all, Wall Street is going to respond bullishly to the company. Why? Because this is an uncertainty factor for the stock. If Elon Musk's compensation gets approved, then his status as the CEO of the company should not be brought back in question. However, if the pay package is denied, right? If it's voted against, if the vote comes out to be a no, then watch out, guys. It's going to be a very volatile event for Tesla, because then nobody will know unless Elon Musk says something the exact same day what he's going to do with the company. We won't know what the consequences of a no vote will be. There is speculation, and Elon Musk has planted the seeds of that speculation himself a few months back. He said that if the compensation package was not approved, he may take Tesla AI and robotics and put it into an entirely different company. Not only that, but there's been a lot of rumors that if the compensation package is not approved, that Elon Musk may reconsider his role as CEO of the company. So obviously, guys, with such big factors at play here, in the event of a no vote, I do believe that the vote is no. The share price probably is going to have a lot of volatility to the downside, guys. And we may even retest the 160 level. As a matter of fact, let's pull up the expected move for Tesla stock over the course of the week. Oops, not too sure why I hit that button. Give me a second right here. Let's get out of that. So Tesla, let's take a look at their expected move in terms of share price here, guys, for the week. I'm not too sure what I'm doing here, guys. My bad for this. All right, so we got it back. So Tesla expected move for the week, 164.89. So about 5% up or down from the current location. So it could be fairly volatile. If it is volatile, guys, I am expecting daily downtrend continuation and maybe retest 165, 160, these lows right here. But if ever the compensation package is approved and it's a very bullish catalyst for the stock, you guys know the drill, still waiting for this impending breakout of the 181 for the daily uptrend continuation here, and then looking to attack the mid 190 levels as our next levels of weekly resistance, right? So we're looking for two things, the daily trend breakout, but also the weekly trend breakout, and that will be a break and close above 186.59. Personally, I will not be speculating on the outcome of this pay package, guys, just because it's such a big event for the stock. And in the event of a no, as I said, unless Elon Musk says something about what he's going to do in response to the pay package on Thursday, there may be a few days up to a week of deliberation. where nobody knows what Elon is thinking or what he maybe might do, and that is probably not going to be good for the share price. So that's a little bit of analysis on Tesla for you. Now moving into Palantir. Palantir not looking too bad at all, down 0.77%, but was down a lot more throughout the day, was down pretty much almost about 2%, dare I say, right? From pretty much the close on Friday right here to this morning's open. As a matter of fact, pre-market, they were down almost 4.36%, only ending down about 0.77%. So looking very good, really doing exactly what we thought Palantir was going to do, right? Daily uptrend, moving nicely. And then we were maybe speculating that after such a hefty move by Palantir, having some of the short-term timeframes like the hourly severely overbought, and even the 4-hour coming to overbought territory, right, may just be due for a little bit of a pullback. And that's exactly what we got, looking for the daily higher low, anything above 2102, looking for that daily higher low for the trend continuation here, guys. Looking very good, coming into a big area of congestion, right? Number one, well, we're in this box of consolidation, right? Few little areas, this whole level right here, guys, just a big area of congestion, right? But more specifically, if you want to pinpoint entries right here, this whole 2223, down to 2250, good location. The moving averages are at the bottom of that, and the bottom end of this box is also the prior resistance range of back here throughout the month of May, right? So very, very highly congested area. I do expect the bulls to play some defense, and then looking potentially for the daily uptrend continuation. Looking good on the weekly as well, right? It was a very tight weekly zone of accumulation. Now we have finally a new weekly uptrend by the bulls, which we can deem the monthly higher lows are probably now set. We were looking for these for a while, guys. Lower range of support right here, big monthly resistance. Now coming into it, looking for support. And what we were looking for, just the monthly higher lows for continuation of the monthly uptrend and looking to attack the $28 level at some point during 2024, guys. Fairly confident that Palantir will be able to attack this level, maybe not in the next week, but in the next few months. High probabilities of that happening, in my humble opinion. Moving on to PayPal right now. PayPal having a decent day, right? 0.31%, but still consolidation at the top end of the move. That is not that bad of a situation right now. So looking nice, daily uptrend, still looking for the daily higher low, anything pretty much above 6281, looking for that daily higher low for the trend continuation. Where are we bouncing off right now? Well, keep in mind, guys, a big zone of congestion right here, which is pretty much 65 down to about 64, let's call it. And all of your short-term moving averages are there. So if the bulls really have to come down a little bit more, I do believe this is the key zone where they have to react from in a big way and give us another leg higher. We need that leg higher, guys, especially for your weekly, right? The weekly is trying as much as it can to have a breakout. It was a weekly downtrend right here, and now finally, the bulls are looking to put in an engulfing move, maybe set a weekly higher low as well, coming down, right? And then coming down at this 50 weekly moving averages, set the weekly higher low, and maybe then give us the leg of upside. So this pullback into maybe 65, 64 will do two things. It will be a daily higher low attempt, right? And could also be a weekly higher low attempt, maybe bringing this candle doji back down 65, 64. If it's not this week, could be next week as well. And then maybe we get that substantial rally, tackling some of these resistance levels, 70 and then 75. So PayPal, all in all, not looking too bad. We will see if they can finally crystallize this moment as being the time where they finally break out of this range, guys, that we've been stuck in pretty much since the start of the year, right? The top end of this $67, $68 range. That's pretty much everything I had for you guys in terms of stock analysis. Now let's jump into my portfolio to review very quick trades that I made today. All right, guys, so taking a look at the portfolio right now, you will see that not much has changed, and I did not put on that many new trades here, guys, just because of how volatile this Wednesday is going to be. So the only trades that I took were ones that were really severely red on the day, rather. There was a few plays that I was considering on the morning, like Google, when Google had a nice little drop into here. I was considering maybe the 172s, but anything that's really close to all-time highs, guys, not going to take a chance on this week, just in case Wednesday is a very red event for the markets. I want to be ready, and I want to have buying power to really play some of these dips in the event that they do happen. So in terms of opening positions today, not that much. In terms of existing positions, let's run through them all. SoFi still have those $7 covered calls that we wrote last Thursday. So these pretty much are average cost on these SoFi shares right now is pretty much about $6.70 after writing covered call premium and being assigned at $7. So still in the money, still in profit right now. SoFi is trading about $7.03. In terms of Palantir, we still have the covered calls running right now, $22 covered calls. This is a roll, so that's why you see so much premium. The actual premium for the week is about 15 cents. So our average cost on the Palantir shares that we were assigned all the way back here, the average cost with all the premium we've collected is about 19.6. So we're well in profit. If we get called away on Palantir this week at 22, that would be very nice gains, and I will take them. In terms of new options plays for today, guys, these were featured on yesterday's video pretty much, AMD and CELH. So AMD, we went with the 155s. I got 81 cents per contract, roughly over 0.5%, and AMD, with such a big drop on the morning here, guys, we were expecting an expecting move of about 160.54. That's what I was saying in yesterday's video. Obviously, with such a big move down into the morning, we have to adapt, right? Initially, I was targeting maybe the 157.50 puts, but with such a big drop, it opens up lower and lower strikes. And that's the moral of the story in my videos, guys. I always tell you to be fluid with your strike prices, which however much the stock drops on Monday or Tuesday, your job as an options trader is to adjust your strikes to the downside. So that's exactly what I did. I went with the 155s. And if AMD continues moving red, let's say they have another red day tomorrow, coming down maybe 158, 157, I may even write the 152.50s or maybe even the $150 strikes. So looking very good on those. Now into CLH, same concept, guys. Huge drop on CLH for the day. They were down pretty much 9.6%, right? So we were talking about yesterday, the expected move, 68.90 pretty much, right? So 68.90 was the expected move, and looking maybe for options in the $67, $66 range. Now, obviously, with such a heavy drop here, guys, the stock pretty much opening in the 67, 66 range, are we going to write the 67s and 66s? No, we have to adjust and be fluid. We have to go even lower. So in terms of lower, guys, you can see right there, I wrote these $60 puts for about 42 cents, well above our 0.5% rule. CLH is a very volatile stock, right? You can see a few weeks in the past, this week right here, 16% down. This one right here, 14%. This one, 10%. Even back here, 15%. 13%, right? 13%, 14%. They're no stranger to big declines in 1 week. However, we're coming up into a big box of support right now, 65 down to about $60, and my strike is at the lower end of the support zone. If for whatever reason this continues and I get assigned, guys, if I get assigned at 60, this would mean that this week alone, we would have a 20% decline. And I'm willing to take the chance only because that would really plunge us into daily oversold conditions. And CLH, whenever we hit daily oversold conditions, doesn't happen that often, but usually we do tend to get a fairly nice bounce out of it. So that's just the logic behind that trade. And I also took another trade on CLH at the same time here, guys. We took these $75 calls. Let me just remove these zeroed positions right now. So we went with the $75 calls. Same logic. I'm expecting a bounce because we are heavily oversold. 4-hour oversold conditions, and even to 1-hour oversold conditions too. So I took a little bit of a gamble in the end of the day. In the event that this is the exact lows right now out of daily oversold, and we get a nice little bounce, well, these call options should do fairly well. But I only bought one contract. That is because if ever we keep coming down here, guys, before setting a little bit of a bottom in this range right here, I will fire off another contract or two in this lower location, but maybe with a lower strike, maybe the $70 strike. I don't want to go too far out of the money, right? So that is my pretty much game plan for how I'm going to play this extended dip on CELH. Now, moving on, we still have the rest of all our positions. We still have the GameStop trade, right? So you guys know last week I bought GameStop shares at $38. Pretty much, and we proceeded to write at the money covered calls for about $5.50, and then when it dropped, we wrote covered calls at $29.50 as well. It brought our average cost all the way down to $26.84. So we still have covered calls on GameStop here, still a little bit of value left in them right now. Our pretty much average cost right now is about $26.84, so we're only down about $2 per share. Not that big of a deal, right? We still have the Intuit spread right here, so this debit spread, even though it's not together, I have not closed it yet. We also wrote some shares on Pepsi today. So Pepsi coming down into the 175 or 165 range, and usually Pepsi is not known for its large one-day drops. So I always keep this one on the back burner in case I see a 2-3% drop in one day and it comes down into my big area of support, guys. I love the 165 region, and you guys know Pepsi usually bounces out of this location fairly aggressively when it touches it. 200 weekly moving averages as well. Usually when Pepsi grazes the 200-day moving average, usually it has a very easy time recovering. This is COVID, so that's why it really blasted through it. But most of the time it defends this 200 weekly moving average fairly well. And the premium on Pepsi is not the greatest, guys. You really need to get a big move down and then right pretty much at the money almost to get any premium at all. Pepsi trades in $2.50 increments. So it's either the 165 or the 162.50. And on the 162.50, guys, there was no premium. There was like 15, 20 cents. Nothing, right? So I had to go with the 165s. I got about 70 cents, not quite 0.5%, but fairly decent with this position, guys. I'm happy if ever we get a sign there. I still have the squares covered calls on Square. So after being assigned on Square, we still have those. Our average cost on Square right now is about $66, slightly below $66. So even though we're down right now, we're only down by about $1.50 per share. So we'll continue running covered calls on Square until we are able to get out of this assigned position. And that's pretty much it, guys. The rest of the positions are really the same. Amazon Leap call still on deck. We still have our pair of CRM calls right here, and we still have the rest of the shares that we've acquired too in terms of the Intuit swing trade as well. So nothing has changed there as well. The only other trade that is not on this list right now is Tesla. You remember I had the Tesla calls, right? So we had the June 28, 185 calls, and we paid about $500 for them. Well, Tesla's inability to break out over the last week here, guys, has got me to pretty much close the position. We were really looking for the, rally into maybe the 181, 182, 183 level, and that would have really juiced these call options fairly decently. I was looking to make maybe $200-300 out of this position. The most it ever got to into the 178, 179 was about $570, $590, right? So I bought the contract for about $505, and the most I could have got out of it was maybe $70, $80. Not that much. Let's call it like 15% gains. That's not what I was in the contract for. I was looking for more 40, 50% gains. We just didn't get them, guys, right? So that's why I had to close these Tesla call options, especially because Tesla, very, very volatile leading into interest rate decision day, and it's a interest rate and inflation sensitive stock. And obviously the shareholder vote on Thursday, guys, too much volatility for a call option this week, in my opinion, right? So I decided to just close the trade altogether. And you can see the price that I got for the close right here. We closed it for about $4.15. So we did take a loss of about $85 on this one. Not that big of a deal, but at least I'm staying very safe with this one because of how much uncertainty we have with Tesla this week. So that's pretty much everything I had for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you did, consider dropping a like on the video. Would appreciate it for the growth of the channel. Also consider subscribing if you're new. We do these videos every Monday through Friday, and we'd love to have you here, guys. And as usual, if you have any questions at all, a stock analysis, technical analysis, an options play that you're considering, anything you want, guys, leave it down below in the comments and I'll get back to you usually within the first 24 hours. And also remember, if you have any ticker requests, please leave them down below in the comments. We have subscriber ticker requests every Saturday in a video, right? So just please only do one ticker per person just to be fair for everybody. So that's everything I had, guys. Take care. I will see you after the close tomorrow. Happy trading and peace.